Good morning, everyone. I'm Duke Carter, and thank you all for joining us for the Sunday edition of the Eyewitness Morning News. We are rounding out the weekend with humidity and high temperatures. Your local weather expert, Jake L.A., joins us this morning with a closer look. Hey, Dr. J, what can we expect today?
Well, Duke, much of the same. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. I wish I had a different story to tell you, but I don't.
Thank you, Jay. A family is looking for a new place to call home this morning after their Algiers home caught on fire. It happened yesterday on Halsey Avenue around 6:30 last night. The New Orleans New Orleans Fire Department said when they arrived, flames were coming through the roof. Luckily, no one was home. It was declared a 3-alarm fire when they noticed the rear apartment was occupied by 2 adults and 3 children. Now, all 5 people got out safely. Right now, the fire is currently under investigation. Well, Louisiana Fest brought thousands to the Lakefront Arena last night, including some of our own here, Megan Key, but some fans left with cuts and bruises after a crowd stampede. An estimated 15,000 people packed the area in segments. The pit area was jam-packed when rapper Meek Mill came to the stage. During his performance, thousands panicked and ran for safety after a fight or apparently a false alarm of gunshots. Tents and concession stands were overrun and tables were overturned. Employees of some of the booths say during the stampede, unfortunately, personal items and money was stolen from registers. The staggering heat also impacted the festival. Several fans passed out. What actually caused the uproar is still unclear. But in spite of all of that, it's safe to say people really had a good time. The youngest attendee was a 7-year-old boy pictured right here. And someone else wrote, "My first music festival was one to remember. Louisiana Fest 2019 was amazing." We are just one day away from Monday Night Football, and thousands of us, we're going to be glued to our television screens as the Black and Gold play the Texans. But if you are planning to head out for the Saints' first home game in the Dome, we just want to remind you about a few things. You are urged to get there early because of security measures. All vehicles, what you see right there, they're going to be going through an inspection at the parking lot within 100 feet perimeter will undergo a dog search. That policy will be in effect for all home games. Everyone will have to go through metal detectors, and don't forget the NFL clear bag policy remains in effect. That means all bags, including diaper bags, are banned other than those clear vinyl bags. Also, you can't use printed PDF tickets. People will have to download the Saints mobile app or the SeatGeek app in order to show their tickets to get in. Season ticket holders, they'll be allowed to use their commemorative paper tickets if they want. The Saints take on the Houston Texans tomorrow night at 6:10 in the Dome. You can keep up with all the latest Saints news by downloading our Bless You Boys app, or just go to your app store and download it for free. Congress facing a range of issues once they return to the nation's capital this week. During the recess, Democrats have rallied for stricter gun control. 31 people were killed in 4 different mass shootings since Congress left Washington. Republicans are also working to ratify the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade deal. Meanwhile, Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy is pushing to do away with surprise medical bills and increasing prescription medication prices. Congress is also faced with the task of extending the National Flood Insurance Program, which covers nearly half of 1 million Louisiana policyholders. It is set to expire at the end of this month. A bittersweet arrival after Hurricane Dorian destroyed the homes of thousands in the Bahamas. We hear from a mother who says she is forever thankful to have made it out alive. Plus, a small plane crash leaves 1 dead and multiple others injured. Details ahead, but Jay, the weather, how we looking here?
Well, different day.
Time now 6:08. 2 people are dead and 2 others are recovering after a single-engine plane crash in Las Vegas. Officials say the plane was experiencing some mechanical issues before taking off last night. It tried to turn around to make a landing, but instead it crashed into a desert area near the airport and caught fire. A total of 4 people were on board en route to San Diego. A bystander who was trying to help after the crash is also being treated for smoke inhalation. Officials are now looking into the cause. That's good. Families rejoicing as their loved ones arrived in Nassau. After escaping Hurricane Dorian, the 250 Bahamian residents traveled 13 hours on a ferry after the storm ravaged parts of their homes nearly 1 week ago. Many of the evacuees escaped with little children to look after.
I had to escape with 3 kids. Actually 5 kids, but 3 young ones. We nearly see death before our eyes. And I'm very grateful that God and I could give thanks to God for allowing us to see another day. Because it wasn't our time.
Yeah. Nearly 2,500 people have evacuated to Nassau so far. And right now, time to get a look at the forecast. Weather expert Jake Elliott is here with the latest. Found out that actually Dorian was not done yet. Dorian actually upgraded to Cat 2 and then had some issues and then...
Well, she's kind of fizzling out right now as we speak, as she moves up into the Labrador region near Canada, actually just north of Canada.
Time now 6:26. If you've been to a supermarket lately, you know that there's milk and then there's milk. Sunday morning, Serena Altschul tells us the story behind the name.
Milk is about the most perfect.
Yes, Sir Jay. Some people in the St. Roch neighborhood believe dust from a New Orleans concrete plant is making them sick, and they've captured what they call evidence of air contamination on camera. Nikki Davison has more.
In the middle of the night, in the morning,
keeps belching out all this concrete dust.
When asked what the issue was, the company did not say. According to the CDC, breathing too much dust with crystalline silica, which is found in concrete, can cause disabling and fatal lung disease. We did speak with the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality. They said they will be looking also into the matter. New Orleans Mayor Latoya Cantrell visited the Booth Bar and Grill on Friday night. Photos on social media, including the Tulane student newspaper, the Hullabaloo, show Cantrell speaking to people outside the Uptown bar. 2 Loyola students have been reported being sexually assaulted by a man thought to be posing as a fellow student at the Booth. Others have told police they believe that drugs were slipped into their drinks while they were at the bar. The recent incidents have prompted warnings from campus police to students at both universities. In an effort to boost morale in New Orleans East, several people volunteered their time in Bunker Hill, a neighborhood recently making headlines for its violent crime. Yesterday, volunteers, including Mayor Latoya Cantrell, picked up trash. Police Chief Sean Ferguson is also getting the police department and other officials on board.
Community liaison officers, school resource officers, and his regular patrol officers, and engaged them. Asked them, how can we help you be better, including our social worker program. They come out here as well.
Ferguson also says he hopes to get more police patrolling in the east, which by land is the largest district in New Orleans. In national news, New Hampshire was the center of the universe yesterday for Democratic presidential candidates. They're on hand for the state's Democratic convention, and the goal to convince voters they're the one who can beat President Trump in 2020. Weijia Jiang is at the White House. Oh, the Cheetos fashion show during a New York Fashion Week turned heads. The show consisted of 21 looks created by influencers and costume designer Amy Goodhart. She's worked with the likes of, some big names like Justin Timberlake, Lady Gaga, and Ciara. Models shredded their stuff, what you see right there, with streetwear that included everything orange and red, of course. This is the first runway show for the brand and definitely will not be the last. Well, switching gears now to something that will most likely make your mouth water. I had the privilege of learning how to blacken catfish with the new local chef. Take a look. Chef Kristen Essex restaurant Coquette has earned rave reviews and awards since it opened in 2008, and now she and her partner have a new restaurant, Thalia. It's an easy breezy Lower Garden District neighborhood gathering spot, and its menu offers creative interpretations of local favorites like catfish Veracruz, which she is making for us today. She's here along with cookbook author Kit Wohl. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So talk to us exactly about this catfish Veracruz. What are we working with here?
So we're sort of bringing 2 parts together here. So we're bringing some Creole influences from New Orleans with our blackening. Paul Prudhomme sort of brought that to New Orleans, and we've reinterpreted that with a sauce base, which is called Veracruz, which is inspired by our sous chef Ana Castro and her family roots in Mexico City. So we've sort of brought those 2 things together, and we're going to start by blackening our catfish. And then what's really nice about this dish is that you can sort of do it a couple of days in advance as far as the sauce is concerned. You do your fish the day of, you've got a party in 10 minutes. It's super easy. Right.
Doesn't take long to prep.
No, doesn't take long to prep. It's very easy. So the Veracruz base that is over here in this pot.
Yes.
We have, do you want to give that a stir for me, Kit?
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Thank you, Miss Kit. Handle that.
Yeah, she's got her magic spoon.
Right, you stir, Mama.
You have a spoon over there.
I'm gonna just stay over here and be cute.
Okay. I love that.
Thank you.
So our Veracruz base is onions and garlic sauteed in a little bit of olive oil. Whoa. And then we have some aromatics as well. So we have fresh bay leaves, which we have a garden that we partner with a friend of ours named Keely, Constant Street Gardens, and if you've never smelled a fresh bay leaf before, its fragrance is so much deeper than a dried bay leaf. She has a 30-foot tree, so we use this in almost everything, in all of our rice preparations and stews and whatnot.
Yes, ma'am.
So this base is just cooking away. We've got a little bit of fumet in here, which is fish stock, and a little bit of white wine, little tomato base. Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to blacken our catfish. I'm
going to let you handle that.
Yes. You sure you don't want to do this?
You're good. I think you can handle better than
Do you cook, Duke?
I just look pretty.
All right, you do that. I'm going to cook.
Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we work with actually farm-raised catfish. It's one of the very few things that we use that is farm-raised in our restaurant. We use catfish out of Louisiana called Guidry's. It's fantastic catfish.
Awesome.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to take the filet. We have our Creole spice that we make in-house. It's smoked paprika, cayenne, onion, and garlic powders. We add a little bit of sugar to it as well, just so that it gets a little bit of a caramelization. It's not much. It's really about 10% by volume. And we're just going to do what we call the presentation side, but it's the pretty side.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going to put that down in our blackening spice.
Now the other side that's not so pretty is the flat side.
This is the skin side. So this is the side that the skin comes off of. This is our presentation side.
Nice.
And because of how, fragrant and, intense this Creole spice can be, we like to just do it on one side so it's not overpowering to the dish.
I've had chefs say they only go a grain or so deep.
Correct.
Because the reason blackening got such a bad word out there,
because it was just
elsewhere, people did it too much.
Too much. A little goes a long way.
Yes.
So we're going to use our Lodge pan here, and we've got just a little bit of oil on the bottom. It's just starting to ripple. And what we want to do is you always want to, you're sauteing, you always want to drop the fish away from you, but that protects that tender part of your arm. So you always want to just sort of see if you're getting a little bit of sizzle here, which we are.
The tricks you learn.
And then you just gently lay it down. You don't drop it. You just gently lay it.
The more you know.
It's a lovely little process.
Otherwise you'd be wearing
Other than that, yep. My grandma used to test the temperature of her oil by spitting in it. We don't do that.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that.
I mean, her fried chicken was popular for a reason, you know?
So, go ahead.
This is a catfish fillet that we blackened a little earlier.
Yeah.
And we're only going to blacken the one side, and we're only going to cook the one side, because what we're going to do is we're now going to put this into our Veracruz base.
What?
Look at that.
And we're just going to nestle it down in there. And really nice thing about this pot is that it's also oven safe. So after this is done blackening, we're going to transfer it to this side, and we're going to put the top on, and we throw it in the oven. And it's ready in about 10 to 12 minutes. Depends on if you have a convection oven or a conventional oven.
Awesome.
But it's really pretty flexible. And it's catfish. You really can't mess up catfish.
Well,
you can look pretty and do this.
It's a struggle some days. And Miss Kit, what do you have going on?
I'm stirring.
She's stirring.
Okay, you're stirring?
I'm stirring.
That's what we're going to handle
keeping it going.
Well, thank you, Miss Kit. We also have Thalia that is located at 1245 Constant Street at the corner of, well, Thalia. It's open for dinner Tuesdays through Saturdays. The website is thalianola.com. And Coquette is at 2800 Magazine Street with dinner 7 days a week and brunch on weekends. CoquetteNola.com is the website there. And of course, we'll be right back.